Somewhere right now, in a coffee shop full of people, someone is sitting completely alone.
And it's not because no one invited them. It's because, somewhere along the way, being alone started to feel safer than being around people.
We live in a culture obsessed with connection. Group photos, friend group content, squad goals. And yet, more adults report having no close friends. This is then at almost any point on record. In 2023, Capri, the US Surgeon General, formally labeled this a public health concern. Not because people can't find friends, but because something deeper is happening in how modern adults relate to closeness itself.
Society tends to treat a lack of friends as a personal failure, something broken.
But when you actually look at the psychology behind it, a very different and far more interesting story emerges.
This isn't a video about how to magically get friends.
It's a video about why your mind might be quietly steering you away from connection in the first place.
And what that pattern may be protecting you from.
Let's break down what's actually driving this fusing, because no friends is rarely one single cause.
It's usually a mix of a few overlapping patterns.
First, hyper-independence. For some people, self-reliance became a survival skill early on.
If depending on others once led to disappointment, the mind may quietly rewrite the rule. I don't need anyone.
It's not arrogance, it's often an old defense mechanism still running in the background. Second, hyperselectivity. Some people aren't avoiding connection, they're avoiding shallow connection.
Small talk, surface-level friend groups, forced socializing, none of it feels worth the energy.
What they're actually craving is depth, and depth is harder to find than head count. What they're actually craving is depth, and depth is harder to find than head count.
Third, social fatigue. This generation is arguably more socially available than any before it.
And that constant low-grade contact can be exhausting in a way previous generations never had to manage.
Researchers suggest this always-on connectivity may leave less energy for in-person social effort, not more.
Fourth, unresolved past hurt. A betrayal, a falling out, a friendship that ended badly, these leave a quiet residue. The nervous system remembers vulnerability going wrong.
And it may start treating new closeness as a risk to avoid, rather than a chance to take.
None of these are character flaws. They're adaptations.
But adaptations built to protect you can eventually start to isolate you. And that's where the science gets interesting.
Chronic isolation doesn't just feel uncomfortable. Research suggests it leaves a measurable mark on the brain and body.
Studies point to a link between prolonged loneliness and elevated cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Some researchers have compared the potential health impact of sustained isolation to well-known risk factors like smoking. Though scientists caution it's a signal of how seriously the body takes disconnection, rather than an exact equivalence.
Multiple studies, analyses out of institutions like Brigham Young University examine the cognitive side.
Prolonged social withdrawal correlates with increased rumination or overthinking, and something researchers call social skill atrophy, the idea that social ease softens with disuse. This is also where imposter syndrome quietly creeps in. This is also where imposter syndrome quietly creeps in.
Without regular social feedback, someone laughing at your joke, the mind loses its usual reality check.
Left alone with your own thoughts for too long, the inner critic tends to get louder, not quieter.
None of this means solitude is dangerous. It means unchosen, prolonged isolation carries real costs.
To navigate this, psychologists draw a crucial distinction: solitude versus loneliness.
Solitude is chosen stillness. It's restorative. Loneliness is the painful gap between the connection you want.
As philosopher Paul Tillich put it, language created loneliness to express the pain of being alone, and solitude for the glory.
The goal isn't to force yourself into big crowds if that's not who you are. It's to move from involuntary isolation into peaceful.
When the focus is on a shared goal, the awkwardness of small talk naturally fades away. Third, practice low-risk vulnerability. Reaching out first with a simple text doesn't mean you're needy, it means you're human. And finally, be patient with yourself. Undoing years of self-protective isolation takes time.
You don't need dozens of friends to thrive. You just need a few meaningful connections where you feel safe to be yourself.
Remember, solitude is peace, but isolation is a prison. You deserve to experience the world without feeling.
Be honest. Are you in a season of peaceful solitude or hiding in isolation? Drop solitude or isolation in the comments.
If you value deep self-growth, do your future self a favor. Hit subscribe and tap this next video right here.